there is a mismatch between the job environment that employees actually want and the one that their organizations have. What I want from my workplace could be very disconnected to what my organization is offering. And that gap is a really big deal because the wider that gap is, the more I might actively be on the job hunt. And there are so many reasons that we could dig into why this is happening. But I think one of the ones I really want to kind of zero in on is the fact that we as employees, our needs have changed. Our needs from the workplace, what we expect from our workplace, notice the language there, what employees expect has changed. And there's a good reason for it. The reason is we are now fundamentally different. And it's hard to quantify how we've changed in the last 2 years, but let's take a little bit of a stab at it. So I want you to kind of think of these in terms of just size, the numbers. 9 million Americans lost a family member to COVID. I know I'm in that bucket, and I'm sorry if you are as well. 22 million jobs were lost. 8 million Americans fell into poverty. We're talking about the impact to the American people in the 12 to 24 months that have come out. And of course, I say American people realizing there was a global impact, but I'm quantifying it as American people because of the statistics that I'm offering you are based in the US. We also had to do a lot of adapting in terms of work. At one point, 83% of us were working remotely, sometimes completely unexpectedly. And then comes this part of the psychology of disruption. All of these things, fear, trauma, psychological shock, distress, prolonged stress, anxiety, all of these are up. 1 out of every 2 Americans had a mental health crisis within the last 12 to 24 months. Depression is up by 30% from pre-pandemic levels. And there are a lot of psychologists, there are a lot of neuroscientists who will tell you that when this level of trauma occurs, our brains actually rewire. That's why so much of the research out there that's been calling this the great resignation, there have been other people who have been saying, no, it's not just about resignation, it's the great re-evaluation, it's the great rethink. And all of these different names are attempting to get at this. They're attempting to get at the reality that we are fundamentally different and we cannot return to being who we were pre-pandemic just because offices are back in motion, or just because it's time to go back to the office, for example. I like the way New York Times says it here. The psychology of disruption cannot be underestimated. COVID will be an era. It will not be a crisis that actually fades.